Hey, thanks for clicking on this video. I'm going to be breaking down how to hold an effective morning meeting, from why instant feedback matters, the psychology behind stretching, and how to teach the 8 ways, and plenty of other practical tips you can apply right away. Let's dive in.
Right, morning team. So first things for today.
The morning at Footcom starts with a warehouse team meeting. This is a meeting before the morning meeting with only the key people involved. They covered the essentials like what needs to be done, who's doing it, and they even reflected on recent mistakes to improve forward. What stood out for me was the use of clear boards, a simple structure that gives the meeting a rhythm and standard so nothing gets missed. I shared a few thoughts, but overall, this is a great example of lean in action, focused, structured, and improving every day.
And communication is key. It's the 9th waste. One tip for you guys to improve the morning meeting is to have a little feedback quickly, like a green or a red. Was everybody on time? You know, did we start on time? Did we finish on time? Did we communicate correctly? How was the speaker?
Okay, let's just pause there for a moment and explain why instant feedback is so critical. People want to do a great job, but they don't know if they're doing a good job. That's why feedback is so important. Now, if you have 3 or 4 things at the end of the meeting, say, hey, we were on time, hey, the speaker was clear enough, then we can give that feedback back to them. If they don't have that feedback, how will they know how to improve? Later on in the video, you'll see where we mentioned that if you don't measure it, you can't improve it. Now, very key thing about this is that you need a mature culture. If somebody's going to be, hey, like, you're not loud enough, that's going to sound very critical. So you need a mature culture. And I've got a great example at the end of this video where you'll see how a team with a mature culture gives feedback to each other. Okay, back to the video.
Right. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to Edwin. Thanks for coming to visit us. So we've got Lisette.
Hi, Lisette. Nice to meet you.
Office admin. Regan, who's our IT and systems and warehouse guru. Ants, who's our warehouse guru as well. Ben, who's our sales guru, and Ted's specialist. And Ryan, who's the head honcho. And me, who does everything else.
The glue.
Right, quote this week: a team is not a group of people that work together. A team is a group of people that trust each other. Okay, we are going to start with the lunge hip twist. So,
Okay, I'm going to quickly reflect on what just happened. We have a morning meeting every single day because you just don't know what's going to happen. So I've just arrived and I've been introduced to everybody and everybody's being introduced to me. It's just such a great way to start the day. Then we have a quote of the day. I love this because it's a great way to start the day. It's also interesting to see what quotes people bring out. It brings out a bit of their personality. What I would have liked to see is a bit of discussion on the quote. What I liked about the stretching session is that everybody got to engage. You can't do this with big teams, but for myself, I was thinking, oh, what stretch am I going to do? And I like them passing the baton on to each person to clearly show who is next and when is your turn.
What most people don't know, there's psychology behind stretching. Every time you stretch, you create a bond of trust. You just talked about trust in a team. Most companies don't do this. It's abnormal what we're doing. It is, but it's actually so important because it creates trust. So every time you do it, it feels weird. Like when you're new, like you're probably like, this is weird. But over time now it becomes normal. It's actually good because it creates trust. So you're stretching and you're looking at something, but you're laughing.
yeah.
That breaks down the barriers. That's why I think stretching is so powerful and why every company that does lean at such a high level will do it at a really good thing. And I've been to a couple of companies and what I've just seen now is top class, guys. So well done. Okay, you got to give yourself a clap.
Right, so yesterday we had 6 picking defects, 1 dispatch, no invoicing, defect percentage was 12%, and stock is all away.
Reviewing yesterday's targets helps the team see if they're on track or falling behind. You can't improve what you don't measure. Each company will have its own metrics, but early on, it's best to keep it simple. Build from there. And don't forget to acknowledge the wins. Progress deserves recognition.
One thing there is you guys should clap for no defects. Like that's like invoicing, well done. Stocks away, brilliant.
Great job.
Okay. Encourage.
So what were our defects? We had
Reviewing defects is essential, but it takes a mature culture that focuses on fixing the process, not blaming people. Sharing defects builds awareness, so when they come up again, the team is ready to solve them.
leather insoles and should have been 2. Ryan can't count. Apart from the obvious just human error.
Remember, it's never a human error, it's always a process problem.
Expected today, we have a DM air freight.
These slides bring clarity to the team. They show what deliveries are expected, what's happening during the week, who's where, and any scheduled meetings, keeping everyone on the same page. It's easy to lose track, so having this visible and regularly communicated makes a big difference.
Ben, myself and Ryan have our leadership meeting at 4 o'clock and Royden is in Hamilton today. This week's waste we're focusing on is inventory. It is products or materials that are sitting on shelves not being processed or sold, or information not being used. Any examples for us?
One of the most important parts of the lean journey is learning to see waste. Because if you can't see it, how can you improve it? That's why it's powerful to build this into your daily meetings. In this example, the team focuses on one of the 8 wastes each day and asks everyone to share an example. You may find that some people struggle to give an answer. As the leader, it's important to ask really insightful questions,
Inventory, why is it a waste?
but also to hold the space. It will feel awkward, but it's important to give people time to think.
I don't know why it's a waste, but it leads to lots of other wastes.
So it leads to other wastes, yes. Every shelf costs money. That's money that could be spent in doing something else, right? So that's why Kanban is such a key tool, because it can bring down your inventory so you don't have to hold as much, and so you'll be able to actually have more variety. So what I see here, that you guys have like, what, 2, 3, 6,000 SKUs? Most companies wouldn't be able to do it in the square meter, because you could be able to bring it down with the Kanbans. But Kanban is just, it's only as good as the people that are trained on it. Okay. So it's really important that there's always communication. It was really good this morning. I saw you guys talking, there's a Kanban issue. We should have a look at that, tackle it, find the root cause, improve it, spread it everywhere.
Another reason why inventory is a waste is because the customer isn't willing to pay for it. It doesn't add any value to them.
The only one they had on the shelf had a shelf life of the 19th of June, so not much use for us.
We have nothing due today, but there is 4 up there for tomorrow. So long-term actions, we have
Reviewing short and long-term actions builds clarity, accountability, and a sense of progress. These actions can range from simple fixes to more complex improvements. What matters is keeping it visible and moving forward, one step at a time.
So yeah, and then we've got one that's Ryan's got another whole month. We can all relate to going to a restaurant. So this is taking Kanbans and restaurants and applying it to the restaurant idea to a
Lean learning is a powerful part of the morning meeting. There's a growing community sharing free improvements and insights on YouTube. It just takes a bit of searching, sharing, and discussing with the team. It's a great system for developing people, and it doesn't have to be just about lean. It can be about finances, health, well-being, or history. It really depends on your culture. The real goal is teaching your people to be life learners.
So yeah, I just thought that we go to a restaurant and we always want our food on time and we want exactly what we ordered. If we turn that into here, we have Kanbans, like Edwin said. It's a pull system that brings exactly what's required to the location that's required. Also, like Edwin said, we need to work out why it's not working, or if we're running out of stock on the shelf, we need to look at why that is, change our levels and stuff like that. Right, a couple of improvements from yesterday. So Regan has
Sharing improvements is Paul Akers' third pillar of lean. It's the feedback loop that helps people see waste. and celebrate the
And
wins.
then just Ben's one here.
Okay, first time with it in action, so I've got the holder.
It also shines a light on the untapped genius in your team. Big or small, every improvement counts.
Now just stack them all into place, and at the end, connect it on and ready to go.
Can I ask one question about this? Have you got
A great tip, call out the person who made the improvement and let them explain it. It builds pride, ownership, and inspires the next improvement.
So tell me, what was the problem there, and what was the? Because I didn't see it before.
No, because it was quite hard to film by yourself. So before, what you basically did, everyone had a couple of different ways, but it sits on a ball and nickel chain. And I mean, Regan watching recently doing them, I just found the quickest way is to hold it in your mouth and then feed it going down like this, and then you mess around with both hands. Whereas now it's all feeding onto one thing. You pull the chain through, you can connect it together.
Yeah.
It's for a sample ring for our customers.
Right.
of
Okay.
all
that
these products.
stands about that high once it's finished?
It's about, 30 different products on there.
Yeah.
And we just put them on a little chain for the customers, and they're all labelled. But yeah, it was quite a clunky process.
Yeah. So now so you've reduced the time to do it.
Reduce the time, and then the bit you don't see before that is there's a whole bit around the actual, so it's all cut out on the clicking press.
Yes.
It's all now got a Kanban. It never had a Kanban system. I can show it later. It's got a Kanban
Beautiful.
system in place, and it also records exactly the amount you use. So the infusion side, we keep the people in the office happy, stays up to date, rather than just cutting away out of stock. And
I think that was the big, like when you're talking samples, people don't think about that as stock.
Yeah.
And we had to kind of think about that as a stock product that you're selling to your customer, even though you're giving it away to the customer. But there's actually a whole process involved in that.
So true.
So yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
I
So
can
you
show
made the
that.
process better, and you made your job easier.
Before that process was basically, it had to run through me, whereas now I went away last week and Regan could do the process without me. So it's the first time I've never had to actually stand over sample rings. So yeah, that's a win.
That's awesome. Very good.
Right, what have customers been saying? From my experience, prompt service and excellent products. I used
Customer feedback should be shared to encourage the team and celebrate the wins, not be hidden in an email somewhere. Even negative feedback can be turned into a positive by learning and improving from it.
and then worth the money compared to cheap plastic ones. It's working effectively for my leather shoes and boots. That's wooden shoe trees.
It motivates your people and reminds them that their work matters, even when the job feels repetitive.
Will certainly buy products from Ted's NZ again in the future.
Awesome. Hold on.
Okay, real quick video from Shane.
In this next section, the team watches a customer video to better understand how their products are being used.
New soles, old soles. This is our sewing machine. It is a thing of beauty because you can get a boot on there, get all the way to the toe, and then drive around with its little multi-directional foot. This is a gluing bench.
It's a great way to connect your people to the customer, bringing meaning to their work and building product knowledge.
We've got worn out RM William heels. We can fix them up, put some new heels on, polish up the uppers, sort out the soles, and other jobs that can be done on these. You can see the elastics just starting to go a bit funny, but still enough support.
Not every business has customers who post on YouTube, but when they do, it's a valuable opportunity. It sparks discussion. What products did their customer use? How did they use them? This kind of insight helps reinforce purpose and continuous learning.
I can get the odd one that guys are a bit rough getting them on and off, and that seam in the back busts, and we've got to fix that up. But anyway, these things happen, all right? Cheers.
That's awesome.
So the sole was top seam. Would have been 6mm dark brown, correct? Heel was a Turbo Plus. And then the elastic we also sell. We're just going to go around the circle with our progress. Right, so mine, prioritise tasks effectively, so I'm working on high value, high impact ones first.
Reviewing quarterly goals is something I hadn't seen before, but it's a brilliant idea. Each person sets a SMART goal: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based, to be completed in 3 months. They send weekly updates to the meeting leader, and progress is reviewed once a week. It builds accountability, tracks progress, and teaches people how to set and follow through on goals. For larger teams, consider splitting into smaller groups to review goals on different days. I highly recommend this. It's a powerful way to build momentum and develop a culture of action and results.
Right, that's our cleaning schedule for tomorrow.
At Footcom, the team does a deep clean every Friday. They plan it the day before by assigning who will clean each area. And after their regular morning meeting, they still take time for 3S each day. This is what I call keeping the rope tight.
Okay. Ryan, got anything else to say?
Just send it to folks. So we've got Rachel.
To wrap up, the team has a chance to add any final thoughts. Then the meeting leader shares a moment of gratitude. And finally, the next meeting host is announced, keeping the rotation going and everyone involved.
Gratitude is thanks very much to Edwin for coming along and helping us today, giving the time and energy. Appreciate it. There's going to be lots for us to learn, so that's great. Have a great day, everybody. Ben is our host tomorrow.
Hey, there. Good job. Well done, guys.
Okay, I hope you found that valuable. 2 last things. Number 1 is if you're just starting out on your journey, do not do this. 5 minutes is all you need. Piece of paper, maybe a board. You don't go fancy, no TV, anything. Number 2 is you need to give people time to prepare. So let's, for instance, say you'd start with 3S first, then the morning meeting. Let people prepare in that 3S time, or let the person who's doing the next meeting prepare if you do 3S afterwards. And then lastly, I promised you a video of a mature culture giving feedback. Here it is. Enjoy.
Passion, B. Prepared, B. Engaging, A. Questions, B. Transitions, B. Humor, A. Control, B. Supposed to work on questions. I kind of struggled with that segment. I want to give myself a C on transitions, but I don't feel it was my fault that I struggled so hard with them this time because everything got jumbled and I had every technical difficulty along the way from yesterday. So thanks for bearing with me on that. Matt.
Dang, I was gonna say, I feel like you could have been a little more snappy and like had a little better flow. I think you had better questions than before. I might have just brought more discussion. Maybe not the questions as good, but it's a great meeting otherwise.
I think you had great discussion with your questions. Some nitpicks would be maybe a little bit more movement. I did see you go on the other side one time.
This
Maybe
is
do
the
that.
most I've stayed in one spot, I think, ever. Scared.
You did well with that improvement slide. You did go back and then have people actually state their improvements, but I would say don't call yourself out.
That's a toughie. Yeah.
But other than that, it was good.
We added in a couple slides right at the end, and the clicker wasn't working. No excuses, but yeah, everything was thrown out for me from the beginning.
Boy, you make it really hard to find something.
You're nice.
I don't want to be like a hypocrite because I feel like you do this better than I do. I don't know, just movement, really.
Yeah, usually I'll do a whole lot around the table back and forth, but this time I think I was just frazzled from the meeting being so hard to set up. Lucas?
I think if you were supposed to work on questions and you were struggling with the history section, you could have done more on Park of the Day. You could have actually like brought a board and a piece of FASTEC and like showed how it gets applied and asked more questions about that whole process. And that's something you could have set up without the computer since it was being a problem.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure everyone at least like knew what FASTEC was, and I guess like we see it applied a lot. But yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, it was a struggle, but better than I thought it was going to be. I'm going to do flow. Just fix all of the glitches.
And if you are struggling with this history with like questions, please don't hesitate to ask Andrea or myself, because we'll be happy. Because I thought your questions were great. I thought Mitch's questions were also great from yesterday. So if you feel like you're not confident or struggling with it, just please talk to us before you. We'll be happy to help you. Make you feel confident.
So, a lot of you complain, your morning meetings are boring. You know why? Because you make them boring. You're not excited. You're not passionate. You need to pull your head out of your ass and start making your meetings amazing.